Hi there, this is Kevin with thebigRC.com, and I am lucky enough to have Kelly Lunsford from Lunsford Racing here close by in my hometown. And I was able to get him to sit down for an interview. And Kelly is literally like an icon of the industry. He's been at this forever. I've been doing this for like 30 years or something, 25 plus, and I've known Kelly since then. And when I was first starting out, he was literally my first sponsor. He came up one day, goes, here you go, here's a whole bunch of titanium tie rods and stuff. So he's just this really, really great guy, amazing guitar player. He's just an amazing person. So being able to sit down with him and just kind of ask him some questions, let him go on. It's been my honor to do this interview. So I hope you enjoy this, and we'll be back at the end. Year did you start and all that kind of stuff?
Okay, so in about 1988,
okay,
I started the hobby without any idea of ever starting a business. That was not the thing. I mean, my first speed controller was some waterproof brick, so I wasn't a race guy. So, but in 1988, there really wasn't a turnbuckle, and that's kind of what we do, what we've done for 26 years is turnbuckles. And so the place where I worked, we made titanium, and they had titanium weld wire, and all you could do back then, you got a little piece of all thread, no right or left hand. I think Dubro might have made one that you couldn't get a grip on. And my first design, I made them and I filed like a square on it, and it didn't work. And another racer that I would say was instrumental to the product was a guy that worked in Eugene Toy and Hobby. And he looked at it and he said, well, just Loctite a nut on there, you'll be good. And so that product line, we did them first in the garage. First you just did it for local racers. Right. But I've always been a magazine guy, and car magazines and stuff, and I decided with an income tax return that I would run an ad, having no idea how to mass produce a product, nothing. So I did this ad, and I think there were 3 cars at the time, maybe the RC10, the Blackfoot, and the Ultima. Okay. That's all there was. And you send me had a little thing that you filled out, and you filled it out and you sent it to me in my mailbox, and somehow magically I made this part. And so we took a drill press, we kind of panicked, and we took a drill press, and my neighbor was a machinist, and so we took a threading die and a drill press, and we sat down at a bench, and my wife and I figured out how to make turnbuckles by chucking it one piece at a time. And so lo and behold, the ad came out, and people started sending in their little ticket that they had buying turnbuckles. And so it went on that way. I've always liked machines and machine motion, yeah. So it moves pretty fast from that to a Brown & Sharp, which the whole world was made by Brown & Sharps. It's an automatic screw machine. Okay. I got one of those, and then I bought another machine, and another American machine, a Hardage. And so that went on, and we did figure it out, and we rented a little spot that was about 2,000 square feet, and I would do my day job, and then at night I would go make turnbuckles. And the hobby was really jumping at that time. I entered it when it was small, and then I was able to grow with it. So that was a fortunate thing.
Okay, what is the biggest change you've seen in the industry?
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy, because the biggest change is today to run a company that makes RC parts. You're pretty much totally disconnected from the part, other than you draw it and you send it out to Taiwan or China, and they will hopefully produce that for you, like you want. But in the early days, everybody was making things. In the LA area, there were many satellite shops that made up an RC10, right down to the screws. Okay. And today, you see a lot of companies, and because many people are skilled at SolidWorks and want a company, you just have to come up with enough capital to buy enough of your product that you've SolidWorksed and make yourself a small aftermarket company. So that's what I've seen. It's a lot different that way, and we're the exact opposite of that. There's like us, MIP, Robinson, and RPM that actually do it the old way, where you actually make your part.
Do you find it harder to compete nowadays because of building your stuff in the U.S.?
I find that everything I make has been copied for a very long time.
Okay.
And one of the things that we find the hardest to do is our line of screws, because we make it like a bone screw. We start out with billet material in a grade 5, the best you can get, and we carve that into a screw.
Wow.
And it really doesn't make a lot of sense. It's really kind of cost prohibitive, but you just have to have a love for the hobby to do it that way. And there's a lot of, the market's full of grade 2 now. And I thought at first, that was like a bad thing. And I can go on to any all the major manufacturers have it. And it seems like the more they make, the more we sell. So it's just so soft and it's so crappy because they can run it through a bolt machine, So basically we're still doing well because of the grade that we use and the process we do.
Okay.
So.
How many employees and such do you have now?
Well, back before the economy crashed,
right,
then there was about 7.
Okay.
And today there's just 5 of us.
Okay.
And so there's 2 guys that are out in the shop making parts, all the time. And there's about 7 machines that do it, because we make parts for other people too. There's other people in our hobby industry that we make titanium parts for, and then we do the UAVs, parts for those, just different tech businesses that need titanium. So, and then there's in the office, there's my wife Barb, who's always been there, and she's either packaging or doing orders, and then we have another part-time packager, and then I'm there doing whatever needs to be done.
3D printing, do you see that as something in the industry that's going to help or hurt?
I think it's really exciting for someone who's a designer. In our products, we're all turned small products, so it's not so much. But if you were a guy that wanted to redesign bulkheads and bodies and towers and things, being able to put that product, whatever you wanted made, in an actual person's hands, you may come closer to getting to what you wanted. And it's kind of exciting because everybody can afford one now. Yeah. So I think it's a great thing.
Now, you've raced me a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about our amazing battles we've had over the years. No, just kidding.
That's hilarious. And it's funny, I've never been that fast with an RC car. I think at one regional, Chris White tried to help me win with all his might, and I still couldn't get it done in the end. So
there's a voice from past Chris White.
Yeah, that's from the past. It was comical because now there's a guy, Dakota Fend, and Dakota Fend, I was out. They came out and had a national at up by Smoky Point, and he was somebody pointed to Chris White and pointed and said, "You know who that is? That's Chris White." And White had to tell him, "Do you know who I was?" So at that time, it's times have changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a blast from the past.
Okay, with all the stuff going on, the cars are just getting faster and faster, motors and batteries. Where do you think the industry is going from here?
Oh, that's, I see it changing all the time. And I was a part of the 8th scale gas movement, and you notice it's just pretty much dead.
Yeah.
The short course truck came out, and having a buggy, the first thing I ever had, then a short course was not very exciting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of been on the downslide. But I say right now, for the next couple years, the 2-wheel drive buggy, because of all the new ones that are out, and they're all good.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be right back where we were in the early 90s, where guys are going to show up with a 4-wheel drive, which is unbelievably good, and their 2-wheel drive. And so I think we'll ride that. All the novelty cars will be gone for a while. I believe Trax has created the short course thing, and to me, that's just a novelty car, So the trucks, truck racing came back for a brief time, but they kind of have shut the faucet off.
Yeah.
And so I believe that it'll just be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive for maybe the next 4 or 5 years. And that's good because it makes for more people in a class, and it's easier to go to your local track and show up with something and have a class. So I'm very excited. It's got 2 programs that work together. So one side of the machine is capable of making a part, and then this side's capable.
Wow.
So you get this square rod, and we have it custom made. There it is, grabs it. It'll cut it off, since both spindles are running the same speed. And it'll take this one down and finish it, and it'll start a new one at the top. So it's gonna get its thread down here at the same time that gets its thread. So you gotta watch one thread roller or the other.
Okay.
That will happen here directly. There we go. And so,
Okay, I know you make turnbuckles. What else do you make? I know you make a ton of stuff.
yeah, anything that fits the size of our machines. And a Swiss machine is different than a conventional machine. And it's really good at very small parts. And so for anything, say, 1/2 inch on down to really small is what we do. So, we're kind of like, we do the turnbuckles, and we do thousands of turnbuckles. And we do, like, a ball joint's good on those machines. We'll do ball joints. We do the screws on the machines. We do shock studs. Basically, we do everything that can hold your car together.
Okay.
You can pretty much take and put your car all together with titanium, for better or worse.
There we go.
Okay.
Well, Kelly, thanks for the interview. It's like a walk through history with you.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, I had a good time.
Kelly is literally one of the nicest guys in the industry. He's always been the first, when he sees a young kid or whatever, he's like, here you go, take the stuff. It's like you've always been really good for the industry and helping build it up. So
it's always been good to help people out with something that breaks all the time.
yeah,
So
I appreciate it.
yeah.
Thanks again.
Awesome. All right.